Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Teacher Pat. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a popular Filipino dessert that is typically brought to family parties, and that's Buko Pandan. And Buko means young coconut, and Pandan is a plant where the leaves actually have a lot of flavor. So traditionally the flavor is extracted out of the leaves, and it kind of has like a coconutty, almost like a vanilla, like a sweet flavor to it, and that's going to be the main flavor of our dessert today. But instead of making it the traditional way, I'm going to show you a super shortcut way that kind of has a little bit of a Chinese influence. So sorry aunties, I'm not doing it the traditional way, but it still tastes just the same. So let's get started. So the first ingredient we're going to use today is green ayu jelly. Remember the episode when I made the Taiwanese jelly? This is the same thing except it's green. Now traditionally you actually would make jello with flavored with pandan leaves, but we're going to do a super shortcut way by using a canned version, and it's equally as good. It's not going to have the pandan flavor, but other ingredients in it will. And the next thing you're going to need is coconut jelly, and you notice this is green, and this is pandan flavored coconut jelly. If you cannot find this at the store, you can use regular coconut jelly, and then we'll flavor your dessert with pandan extract. Now the next item you're going to need, and you don't need to put this is palm fruit, and I went ahead and drained it and rinsed it, and it looks like this. They kind of have a soft texture. Sometimes it might be a little bit chewy. So you definitely want to teach your kids how to eat this before letting them eat it on their own. And here's going to be the coconut in our Buko Pandan. Traditionally, you would use a fresh young coconut meat, but that's really hard to come by here in the States. So you can use a frozen one, but they didn't have it at my local grocery store, so I used a canned one, and it looked like this, and it tastes just as good. I drained it, I didn't rinse it, and I saved the liquid in case we need it, so don't toss this. I would definitely put this in the refrigerator until you're ready to use it, okay? And then the next item we have is tapioca pearls, or sago, or in Chinese it's shimi or saimai. I'm going to teach you how to cook that in just a minute. You also need a can of condensed milk, whatever brand you like, a can of evaporated milk, and this is optional. You don't have to have this, but this is pandan extract if you want an extra pandan flavor, which I'm going to do because I love pandan flavor. You can find this at your local Asian grocery store. And then a big container with a lid to put everything in together. So let's get started. Okay, so to cook your sago, you have to boil 6 to 7 cups of water, and then I'm going to put my sago in. That's about 2/3 of a cup. I like extra sago in mine, so it's up to you. Give it a quick stir so it doesn't stick, and then you want to let it boil for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, it's going to be kind of translucent with a white center. After 10 minutes, you want to shut off your fire and put the lid on and let it steam and sit for 10 minutes. And it's going to look like this after 10 minutes. It's going to be more clear, but still has a white center. And then you're going to drain it to get rid of all that starchy water, so you can see all the white centers. And then you're going to rinse it in cold water. And then meanwhile, you want to boil another 6 to 7 cups of water because you're going to let it sit again. So once the water boils, you're going to put your sago back in. And then because the sago was cold, it's going to take a couple minutes for it to come back to a boil. Once the water boils, you want to shut off your flame, put the lid on, and let it steam for another 5 to 7 minutes. I let mine steam for 7 minutes, and then it should be perfect. All right, 7 minutes later, there you go. There might be some that still has a white center, but that's okay. Most of them are translucent. So one more time, you're gonna drain and then rinse really well. You want to make sure that your sago is completely cold, especially if you're putting it in any kind of cold desserts, especially with coconut stuff. Next, we are going to slice our jellos like the ayu jello. You're going to slice this, and then from there, you're going to slice however big you want your jello cubes to be. I usually cut them about the same size as my coconut jelly. So we're going to keep cutting. Look how beautiful that green color is. And then there you go, they're about that size. And then next you're gonna put everything in the pool. Your coconut, your palm fruit, the coconut jelly and the pandan. I use all of the liquid for that, for the pandan flavor. Your sago, And then you're gonna put your whole can of evaporated milk and a whole can of condensed milk. I know it sounds so excessive, but you really, really need it, especially if you're planning on adding ice to your dessert. The ice will water down the flavor, so you definitely need all of the condensed milk. But if you're planning on eating it straight without ice, then definitely you can adjust your sweetness and add however much condensed milk you want. However, I prefer it to be a little bit on the sweeter side because I like to add ice to mine. That's it. We're pretty much done. We just threw everything in the pool and mixed it up together. The only thing you had to cook was that sago, guys. If you want to do the traditional way and make your own jello, by all means, please go and do it that way. I just don't have the time for that, and this tastes equally as good, so it works fine for me. I'm going to give it a quick taste just to make sure if that pandan flavor is enough for me, because if it's not, then I'm going to add a little bit extra, okay? So, definitely needs pandan. I'm going to go with, I'm just going to eyeball. Probably like, that was like 1 capful. I'm going to do another one. It's also going to give your dessert a nice green color. Okay, so I gave it a stir. I'm going to give it another try. It's pretty good, but I still think I'm going to add a little more. Do it to your liking. If you love pandan like I do, it really reminds me of coconut. Put more. It's up to you. Alright, I think that'll be good enough. Now here's the hardest part. It's pretty much ready. You can eat it now if you want, but it tastes the best after it's chilled in the fridge thoroughly for at least 2 to 3 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator. It's going to thicken up a little bit, and that's what that extra juice from the can is from this one. If it gets too thick after it's chilled in the refrigerator, add a little bit of liquid, not the whole thing, just enough. Like this is pretty runny. It's gonna thicken up for sure. So we'll see it after it's chilled after a few hours. So see you in a little bit. All right, guys, our Buko Pandan is ready. I actually let mine chill in the refrigerator overnight. It can totally sit overnight. It actually tastes better if you let it sit for longer than a couple hours. It's just, if you want to eat it right away, then let it chill for at least 2 to 3 hours. But this has been sitting there for a long time, so now it's nice and cold. And look at that. It's a big pot, okay? This is something you definitely want to share. I'm going to give it a stir so that you can see how thick it got. Look, you can already tell by me jiggling it, okay? Look at that. Look, it's still a little runny, but not as soupy as it was earlier because that sago soaked up a lot of that liquid, and that's exactly the texture that you want it to be, okay? So look, you can see all the jellos in there, the coconut meat, the palm fruit right there. This is so good to eat just like this. At family parties, what they would normally do is you don't want to let this sit on the counter. If you're serving this at a party, because it has coconut in there, it will spoil, okay? Coconut tends to spoil fairly quickly, so definitely leave it in the fridge until you're ready to eat it, okay? So, here's how typically people would eat it. You just scoop it into your container, whatever bowl, cup you want to use, and you can just serve it like that, okay? The way my husband and I like to eat it, we like to eat it as a halo-halo. And halo-halo is a shaved ice dessert, kind of like hongdao-bing, if you ever eat like any Chinese desserts. So what you would do is you would carefully scoop it into your cup. And this is perfect for hot summer days, guys. I made this not too long ago, and my husband and I ate it like, oh my gosh, so much of it. We shouldn't have eaten that much, but it was there, so why not? Okay, so you want to fill it about halfway to two-thirds full, and then you want to put some crushed ice on top. If you have a shave ice maker, that's the perfect thing to use. I don't have one, so what I did was I put a whole bunch of ice in my food processor and crushed it up, and it looked like this. And I always crush a lot ahead of time, and I just stick this in the freezer, and it stays, it's like almost like snow. So you just fill it up. Perfect for summertime. If you're entertaining, this is an excellent dessert or like a snack or something. Sit outside on your deck on the patio. or in your backyard and just enjoy it. And look at that. And then all you would do is you would just put all that. Look how powdery that is. This is from my food processor. If you have a really good blender, just blend some ice in there. Look at that. And then you just mush it all in there. My mother-in-law's favorite is hollow hollow. This is for you, Mom. May not be the most traditional way to make make Buko Pandan, but you know what? It tastes pretty darn close. I think my husband's aunties and relatives would actually enjoy this, so maybe I'll make it next time for a family party. All right, and then you just dig in. Here we go. Mmm, sweet. Because we added the ice, it's not too sweet. I just got some coconut meat. That yummy jello has a really nice sweet pandan flavor. Try it, parents. This is so easy. If you like coconut flavored stuff, you'll definitely enjoy this. My son loves to eat this. Again, please teach your kids how to eat the coconut jelly and the palm fruit, because they do have a chew to it to prevent choking, okay? But otherwise, enjoy. Bye.